All my life I never knew what I was searching for, but now I found it. I found it, and it's so beautiful. So incredibly beautiful. Well, except you.
Oh, that's a bit mean.
Well, you're more beautiful on the inside.
I'm gonna drown you like I'm drowning this bear.
So, drowning bears aside, sorry, Azuros.
Oh, it's okay.
What is the one singular most exciting thing about any new Monster Hunter? It is, of course, the monsters! So, how could I not immediately do a lovely rundown of all of the monsters confirmed so far for Rise? Oh, yes, indeed. Let's start then with, well, Azuros. And this is exciting because Azuros is lovely. He's a sweetheart who just cares about honey, apparently, except when a Tetranadon is involved, and then he goes absolutely bloody mental. Like, Azuros is the calmest, chillest monster. He just roams around, keeps to himself, and likes to eat and sleep. Yet against this thing, he is hell-possessed. I mean, I am proud of him. I really am. But it's good to see that he's back, because that also means that we might likely get Volvidon, or maybe get Lagombi, or hell, even a new of the bear type of monsters. But I love Fanged beasts in general, so it's nice to see them represented already. Though, of course, the only confirmed one is Azuros, a very low tier, basic yet charming monster to get you started, about as hard as a great Jagras. Then, of course, we have Tobi-Kadachi, and this is exciting because it means World and Iceborne monsters are on the table, so we might get something like Valhazark or Basil or any of the more interesting fun ones, but of course Tobi is our start to begin with, and this Tobi, this poor Tobi, the look of abject, deep terror as a new Flagship barrels towards it. I mean, I don't blame him, but like a lovely new world monsters arrived in this lovely new game to immediately get murdered. Oh, so we have Tobi-Kadachi still looking very, very snazzy. Then, of course, we have our new monsters. Tetranadon, as I've mentioned with Azuros, a platypus-inspired amphibian, hides just under the water, leaving his mossy back to be a faux patch of nature, presumably before gulping down prey. Now, he does try to drown Azuros in his own mouth, so maybe that is genuinely a hunting method. Pick up animal, drown it in self. That's quite impressive. Either way, got the bill of a platypus based on one from the looks, though it has other animals mixed in, as monsters tend to. Likes to fill up on gravel, changes the shape of it, changes how it attacks, and generally is a lovely, lovely addition. He is just a fun monster. He is so ugly, he's beautiful, you know, it's that kind of luck, and I can't wait to combat him. Also, of course, he means the amphibians are back, which might mean Zamtrios or Tetsukabra, but at least it means now there is a third amphibian, so hopefully we can see more and more amphibians be added as the whole category is as expanded as, well, a angry Zamtrios. What? What? Then we have the Great Izuchi, the presumably first large monster you'll hunt in this game, the Great Jagras stand-in, the Great Jaggy stand-in, you know the deal. Though this one, of course, works with its pack in a more meaningful way, actually having synchronized attacks with them. You will always fight it with two of the little ones. Whether he resummons them when you kill them, I don't know, but he is designed to have lovely 1, 2, 3 combos with his miniature minions, and that is such a lovely idea. It's a lovely design, and I'm excited to fight it. A great scythy tail, a more furry, kind of wolfy visage, though he does have the fangs of something like a Gendrome, so definitely the raptor undertones are there, but in any case, looks to be a fabulous starting off monster. Then we have the Aknosom, who is just gorgeous! A beautiful, colourful, feathered, fiery crane, changing his crest from sword to shield as he spits fire and looks fabulous doing it. I can see this being a tier 2 monster, though I have suspicions it'll end up being tier 1, probably taking that Yankut-Ku slot, but again, it's always nice to see the bird wyverns expanded in more unique directions like they did with Malfestio, because it is a category that you can have a lot of quirky fun with, because a lot of birds are quirky and fun, let's be honest here. So yes, this beautiful feathered friend is a very welcome addition, and he looks like he has, well, one hell of a smug attitude, and I really like that in a monster.
Hello!
Then, of course, we have the Magnamalo, the flagship, the Fanged wyvern, a very Zenogary-like frame, but looking much, much better than him, if I do say so myself. He is quite a demonic, horned, regal, king-like appearance, the sharp, speary tail. There is a lot going on, a lot of ridges, a lot of spikes, maybe a tad over-designed, but you know, he's the flagship, he needs to be impactful, probably in part of or in charge of the Rampage storyline hook, a lot of purple fire. We will see if he comes with a new status, or maybe even element, because let's be honest, purple fire is not the most common thing in the world of Monster Hunter, but at the very least, he does seem like a worthy foe, and it's always good to see a flagship that doesn't have wings. I always tend to like that. I think they make for more unique ones, though I might just be biased to Brachydios. So that gives us 6. Azuros, Tetranadon, Great Izuchi, Aknosom, Magnamalo, and Tobi. So the next one at number 7, we have this Nerscylla thing, and this is where things get difficult. There are 3 distinct possibilities, and they, well, represent very different implications for the number of monsters we're going to get. So, possibility number 1, it is just literally Nerscylla, but she looks a bit different. But as you can see, it's really different. Like, the entire poisonous back spikes are gone, the skin adorning her is quite clearly not Gypsyros, it's this shredded web-like looking thing. The eyes are in different places, a different colour, different number of them. This new Nerscylla looking thing has like almost hooks on her back in like, I guess a basket, like it makes like a ring on her back with web, like you could just slot something in there, and it just kind of feels like maybe it's more likely to be option 2, which is of course a Nerscylla subspecies, or variant, or deviant, or rare species. But at the same time, well, monsters don't tend to change physically that much for another version of themselves. So what I think is most likely is option 3, a Uragan Radaban situation, where it's a very close relative, but a recognized different whole other monster that is its own thing, which would mean it's the second ever Temnoceran. Nerscylla was alone in her own category of monster, so she might now have a friend, which is really exciting. But what is this friend? Well, it looks like she's covered in web, not skin, which means she might be adorning herself in this cloaky looking substance, and that's quite interesting to begin with. Maybe she's much more focused on the web attacks, binding you, swinging about the place, mobility. It would make sense to put a much more climbing focused spider in, though Nerscylla did do a fair amount of climbing, but you know what I mean, in a game with so much climbing, jumping into the air with your wire bug, all of that verticality. I mean, having a spider chase you at walls is pretty spot on, isn't it? And to me, if you're gonna have another Temnoceran, you don't not put the original one in, right? There's literally just 2 of them. I feel like creating a whole new one that's very similar to Nerscylla kinda is a big fuck you to Nerscylla if you don't also put her in as well. And this one looks like a much more advanced one, maybe a much stronger. Nerscylla's tier 2, so maybe this is tier 3. It looks like volcano lighting, but then again you do fight normal Nerscylla near a volcano, so perhaps it is something very different indeed. But at the very least, a fiery web-based spider gunning after you up the rock is exciting. So that's monster number 7. If we assume the existence of this means base Nerscylla, then we get 8. And if we have base Nerscylla, we need Gypsyros for her to skin, which gives us 9. Imagine the new advanced turf war system that they want to do actual gameplay and mechanical moments around, where you get to watch a normal Nerscylla absolutely ruin this. But, of course, that is very speculatory, so if you don't like the idea of that, well, you've always got something like Shrouded Nerscylla, the subspecies, with Kezu, and Kezu would make sense, as, you know, he's a climber up caves, and again, a game focused on verticality, but I also don't want to just make too many assumptions, so at the very least, for me, if this new Nerscylla-like monster is monster 7, you've either got base Nerscylla and the monster that she skins as 8 and 9, or, I don't know, fuck it, Rathalos and Rathian, which are guaranteed in every Monster Hunter game ever, as 8 and 9. The point is, there is a lot of monsters already to be very excited for, and the identity of this mystery spider has a lot of implications for that number. At the very least, it's just looking so good! Oh my god, good lord! We also have, of course, new small monsters. This random unnamed herbivore looks kind of armored. He is fascinating, and again, like with a lot of the small monsters, I just really want a big, large monster fightable version. Obviously, the small versions of our new Great is a thing as well, and yeah, that's about all she wrote. Who is your favorite? And why is it Aknosom? And until next time, until more reveals, I will be leaving you to dream of hunting, or to have nightmares of being wrapped into a silken prison by a new terrifying spider monster, and your life is slowly sucked out of you. In either case, good times for everyone! Like if you enjoyed this, subscribe for more. Oh, goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.